Okay, good evening. This is Brian with Premier Trader University. Thanks for joining us this evening, morning, or daytime, wherever you might be joining us from in the world. Today's topic is speed and scalp, high action trading the markets. And in today's presentation, we're going to ask the question, can you successfully scalp trade? We've got some opinions on that here at NetPicks. I'm going to share those with you in a few moments and give you our point of view on that. But before we begin today's presentation, I do want to take care of a few procedural things. First of all, if you have any questions today, we want you to ask those questions. I've got Ron working the questions throughout the presentation, and then towards the end of today's presentation, we'll open up and announce questions that are left over live on the air. So feel free at any point if something comes to you, you don't understand, something we're talking about, get that question in right away. I do have Troy Noonan on the call today, and he is the author of Trend Jumper. You're going to see that in just a few minutes from now. We're going to show you the strategy, how it traded today, and give you some really good insight to the methodology and the approach that Troy has developed. Troy, you want to say a quick hi?
Hello, everybody. Glad to be here today.
All right. Thanks for taking your time to be here, Troy. Do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get started today. As I mentioned earlier, this is Brian with Premier Trader University. And again, thanks for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started here, if I can get my slide to go down. 1 second. There we go. All right. So first of all, before we begin, a statement of disclaimer. We're going to be talking about trading today. And all of you know that trading comes with risk and potentially risk of losing your money. So just keep that in mind. We highly suggest that anytime you trade, you have a system, a methodology, an approach that gives you an edge, and that you use sound, rules when you approach the market. So again, we're going to be talking about risk and profit in today's presentation. Here's a little bit of an agenda on what we're going to cover today. First of all, we're going to ask the question, can you scalp your way to trading success? We've got, again, some points of view on that. We're going to share the pros and cons from our standpoint on that. Maybe you've got some you can share in the process. I'll be asking some questions, maybe a little interactive. If you want to put your response into the text, that'll help me out, make this a little interactive today. And then we're going to demo the PTU trading strategies. We're going to spend a little more time today than we have in some of the other presentations looking at the Trend Jumper and how it works and some of the brand new features that we're really excited to bring to you guys. The Pro Calculator specifically, we're gonna detail that today, and then finally we'll end up talking about how you can get involved in the university, should you so choose. So we'll give you that opportunity at the end. So first, a little bit of information on NetPicks in case you aren't familiar with us. Mark Soberman founded NetPicks back in 1996. He is in the top left. Again, I'm Brian Short. I'm on the bottom right-hand side there. We have had the opportunity literally to train thousands of traders over the 18 years we've been in business. That comprises 105 countries. We totaled that up here recently in the last few weeks, and it was amazing how many countries we've had the opportunity to touch. And that's what it ended up being. The one thing that I always like to point out is that we are real traders first. I traded today. Mark would be trading if he was here. He is on well-deserved vacation, but he normally trades every day. And so we're very active in the markets each and every day. And we've been through it all. And we can really relate when it comes to trading and traders and the success that they have or lack of success and what causes that. Okay. Here is our team. We have a very good team of coaches. Troy, who you'll be hearing from in a moment, is on the middle left. Will is on the call today, and he has done a lot of the programming. He basically sits in the boiler room is the term he used before we got on the call today, and he just cranks out code left and right for us. All the indicators you see today have been programmed by him. Mike Crixie is our stock and options guru. Ron is on the call today answering your questions. So let me begin my part of the presentation, and my first question to you is, can you scalp 3 to 4 pip trades on the Forex and be successful? I'd like to see the result of that question. So if you would, type that in the text. Type if you think yes or no. And I just want to see what the general consensus is before I give you my point of view on this question. So let me get my questions up so I can see them. And as I look at your responses, I'm going to give you a feel for what the overall is. I'm getting some yeses, but the majority of you look like you're pretty smart. The majority of you are saying no. All right, and I agree with that. So here is the answer, in my opinion, no. All right. So what I want to do is share some of the reasons why we think scalping the Forex or day trading the Forex is flawed. And even you can take this even a step further, even some of your day trades on the Forex could be flawed because of some of these reasons. We've been in the business, as I mentioned, 18 years. And I cannot tell you any individual trader that I've talked with that is successful scalping the Forex market. And here are the reasons why, and why we think you should consider futures in that process. First of all, lack of centralized trading, centralized pricing, right? A broker can make a price point at any level he chooses. To drive this point home, I'm going to share a story with you. When I first started with Mark in this business, we actually traded a Forex fund. And it was with a U.S. broker, and this goes back a number of years. Okay, so this is a while back. It's not quite this bad today, but in the early days of Forex, it was terrible. In this particular trade situation that I'm talking about, the broker actually reached 40 pips past the normal market to take our stop out, and then the market turned exactly around at that point and went down to what would have been our full target. Now, when we challenged the broker on that, they were very reluctant to do anything, but we pushed and pushed really hard because we had pretty good size on that trade. We were big at that point, multiple full-size contracts. And so we pushed hard to get them to correct that. They ultimately did, but my point is that was, way past what would be considered normal. And so there's obviously manipulation there. And there was back then, and there is to a degree even today. And I know that sounds maybe a little bit like a conspiracy theory, but that's the way the Forex market is set up today. It's much different on the futures side of the equation. If price hits a point in the futures, and it's a stop trade, and you've put a stop order in, you can guarantee you're going to be taken out of the trade. You might not get that price point you want, but it might slip a little bit, but you're going to be taken out of the trade. Okay. And likewise on the limit side, if price extends past your limit one tick, you will be taken out of the trade, and everyone will be treated fair. It's first in, first out. It's a very fair process and regulated on the futures side. Okay, we don't have those issues. All right, we get complaints on the Forex side of the equation all the time from customers who say, we'll post that a trade was successful. And they email us and they say, well, I don't have that result. And again, it's because of that difference. All right. The next point here is crazy commissions on the Forex. Many times the Forex gets touted as it's commission free, right? No commissions. But you and I both know we pay a commission each and every trade we put on. It's called the spread. And that spread comprises a very large percent of your trade if you're scalp trading. What if you're going for 4 pips or 5 pips? A 2 pip spread is half of your target objective. I guarantee you can't be successful with that. Even if you're going for 10 pips, it's 20%. The spread alone is 20% of your trade profile. That's just not a formula that's going to work. There's too many other things that are going to get in your way. Slippage, mistakes, and it's just you're not going to be successful. The other thing that happens on Forex is the deep freeze. What I'm talking about there is on a red-rated news report, what do brokers do? They freeze you out. They stop your platform. They stop your ability to take a trade, to either exit a trade or get into a trade, because the market is flying around. Price is doing its gyrations up and down. And so they just basically lock your platform, and they lock you from being able to take any trades. Okay? That doesn't happen on the future side of the equation again. And then you've got, on the Forex side of the equation, widening of spreads. You guys know what that's all about. Again, around red-rated news, that spread widens to the point where that widening of the spread can actually take you out of a trade that you would normally be in. Again, not going to happen on the futures side of the equation. So these are all reasons why we feel trying to scalp the Forex, trying to even do smaller day trades on the Forex, you're just not going to be successful in our opinion. You might be for a period of time, but ultimately, this is going to eat away at your success and your profitability. So as far as 2014 and beyond go, we feel where you need to be looking is on the futures side of the equation if you want to day trade. Okay. Now, with that said, I know I've bashed on Forex here quite a bit when it comes to day trading. Forex, though, is great for swing trading. All right. You can also consider stocks and ETFs and options for swing trading. On the Forex side of the equation here, when it comes to swing trading, you're typically going to go for a larger trade profile, right? Let's say you're going to go for 200 pips and you're going to risk maybe 200. That spread that I was talking about becomes a smaller percentage of your trade, a very small percent. Any slippage that happens, and getting locked out probably is not, going to be an issue on a red-rated report because your trade profile is bigger. So Forex is actually great for those types of trades. So you should consider that. So let's talk a little bit about day trading and day trading futures specifically. It gets quoted very often that the Forex has 3 to 4 trillion in value that changes hands each and every day. And that gets, touted as being a very liquid market that you can get into and get out of it very easily. And that's true. But futures has the very same thing. And here, this chart shows you some of that example here. So on the S&P E-mini, every day, each and every day, this is average, 2.6 million contracts change hands, roughly 180 billion in value. The Dow E-mini, great market for brand new trader, 160,000 contracts, 20 billion in value. One of my favorites is crude oil, 600,000 contracts each and every day, and 53 billion in value. These are averages, and it does go up and down, but this is, again, the point I'm trying to make here. Can you be a successful trader trading 1, 2, 3 contracts in the mix of some of these numbers? Yes. The answer to that is yes. So when it comes to trading, trading is not a marathon. And I said this in Tuesday's webinar, and I want to say it again. I'm going to ask you a question. What's the worst thing a brand new trader can experience? I'll pause for a little bit and see if anybody wants to answer that. Or just think it in your head. The worst thing is, well, Gerald's saying overtrading, blow the account, big losses. Larry got it. Larry, you get the award today. Larry says success. And you might say, Brian, what? That's what trading's all about. You want to be successful. But for the brand new trader, when he gets that bright, shiny new strategy, whatever it might be, and he gets it out of the box, and he applies it to the chart, and he takes that first trade, and it's a winner. The second trade is a winner, and the third trade is a winner. He starts to think to himself, this is great. There's that level of elation that gets reached, and he says to himself, all I got to do is do this more. And then he starts to do what? Overtrade. And he ends up giving back all his profit and more to the market because he's overtraded. There's a concept that we like to teach inside the university, and it kind of fits with scalping. It's called power of quitting. And I know that might sound a little negative, but it's very positive, actually. It gives you, the trader, the ability to get in, get out, and get done. We extract our profit. Once we accomplish that goal, we get out of the market. All right. We also put some time constraints around our trading. A lot of times we trade slices of time, the best slices of time in a 24-hour period, right? And so because of that, we're kind of scalping the market in that way by identifying those times. All the trade plans that we have listed in the university already have that built into them. All right, so that's the point there on trying to trade in a marathon mode. Don't do it. And when it comes to scalping, keep in mind those smaller trade profiles. Your cost is going to really eat you. Even on the future side, if you're trying to go for 1 or 2 ticks on a trade, you can't do it. You've got commissions, slippage, and noise. And then if you add on top of that any mistakes you might make because you have to trade so quick, just be careful when it comes to scalping those small trade profiles. Okay? So is there a secret formula? I'm about to reveal the Holy Grail to you. Are you ready? Here it is. Oops, my down arrow's not working. I'm just kidding. Here it is. First and foremost, you've got to find a trading system that puts the odds in your favor. Right? That's kind of a duh, but that's what you've got to do. And we found the trading odds that are the best from our point of view. When we develop a system, we want to be in that 65 to 70% win edge. So I want to caution you about some other things that you might see out there. I'm sure you've gotten the emails before that tout systems that have a 95% win edge. That looks great in the headline, right? And it gets you to click on their information because you want to see what this is. But the bottom line is, and I'm going to give you some insight here if you haven't figured that out already, that system, I guarantee you each and every time, is going to win 95% of the time. And you might buy that system and apply it, and for a period of time think, this is great. You're winning. Then all of a sudden what's going to happen is you're going to have that blowout day. And not only is it going to blow out any profits that you made, it's going to blow out your account. Because that's the way those systems work. They take huge risk for very small trade profile profits, and then they have that day when they blow up. Okay? Now I'm going to ask you a question in regard to that. Do you think you can be successful as a trader with a system that wins 35% of the time? I'll pause here and see if anybody wants to answer that. So again, the question is, can you be successful with a system that wins 35% of the time? Yeah. And there are traders that actually are successful with that. But we don't put any systems out like that because think about that for a moment. For most traders, psychologically, they can't handle losing 65% to 70% of the time. All right? They won't stick with it. So that's again why we like to see our systems have that 65% to 70% win edge. So again, the key here is find a system that gives you an edge. The next key component is find training to execute that system and all the trading nuances. You got to get good training. You can't just take the system out of the box and expect to get inside the developer's mind. You need to have some training that goes with that. One of the things we do in the university is we not only train you live on the strategy, but we do it each and every week, 4 times a week. And we find that repetition by having our coaches show you the system as it applies to live market conditions is very beneficial. So again, very, very key in learning how to trade and that process. Starting capital. Let's face it, you can have the first 2. If you don't have starting capital, that's the lifeblood of your trading business. Just make sure that you start with enough. You can't go into this thinking, I'm going to open up a $100 Forex account and be successful, right? So again, and we're also going to show you here in a little bit a way you can get involved and get staked once you have success with a method or approach. So stay tuned for that here in just a moment. The other thing you want to do when it comes to day trading is make sure you can commit 1 to 2 hours daily to execute your business plan, your trading plan. You'd be surprised how many times I get asked this question. It'll go like this: Brian, I have to work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I can only trade Monday and Wednesday and maybe some Fridays. And my answer to them is always this: you're picking and choosing the days you're going to trade. If you've done your back test on the entire week going back 6 months and getting the result, you can't expect to get that same result by picking and choosing the trading days. So again, just make sure you can commit to that process. Discipline, patience, and make sure you have good tools to trade. And in the university, we supply you with the tools, and we teach you how to have the discipline and the patience to implement that. That's our focus inside of Premier Trader University. Our drive is to give you killer trading systems and exceptional training and support. So anyways, that is the part of the Scalp presentation today. Now I want to get to Troy, who's going to show you how the trend jumper works, how it applied to today's market, and he's even going to detail today the Pro Calculator. For those of you on Trend Jumper, pay particular attention to that, because those are some beneficial things that are going to really help your trading, in my opinion, make your trading more reflexive, more responsive, help you make decisions quicker on the chart. So, Troy, it's all yours.
All right, thank you, Brian. Really good points. Scalping, it seems easier than it is, but usually it's the risk. My experience with scalping in the early days was I went on this amazing streak. I think I won like 28 trades in a row over a period of I don't know, a few weeks maybe, and then all of a sudden I hit a losing streak, and after like 3 losses in a row, most of that money was gone. And the reason why is because I was scalping out for the high percentage, but in order to make that high percentage, I had to have risk that didn't make sense. And even though I was winning almost all the time, it only took a few losses to wipe out 3 weeks of hard work. And that's one of the main issues with scalping, is it's really difficult to come up with a trade plan that will take care of that risk-reward ratio while still giving you that high percentage of winning trades. So Trend Jumper, though, approaches it in a unique way. So I think what I'm going to do, I got a lot to show you. Let me do a quick review and show you what the Trend Jumper is and how it works. And then from there, I'll show you some examples. This is all from today's trading. In fact, this was right near the end of the session. We were already finished, but I want to use this example just to illustrate how the Trend Jumper works. I think what I'll do actually is I'll go with this. Let's go with this one right here. This really illustrates it. So let's say you're on the right edge of the chart, right? Okay, so first of all, you want to focus in on the green dotted line. The green dotted line is called the jump line, and it's an amazing indicator because it gives us a lot of very important and pertinent information. Mainly, it's going to tell us which momentum price is expected to go, so we know if we're going to go short or go long. Okay, and that's a pretty important thing to know right away. So right away, we know we're going to take a short here. If a setup happens below the bar, like in this case, that means we're going short. Okay, if a setup happens above the bar, like in some of these cases here, that means we're going long. All right, so the other thing with Trend Jumper is, and this is how we accommodate some of the pitfalls to scalping, is we approach this with multiple positions. All right, so the typical Trend Jumper trade plan is going to trade with 2 positions. Now, you can still trade with a single position until you build your account up and then add the second position. Okay, but just imagine 2 positions, and you'll see why in a moment. All right, now when you click on the bar, you instantly get the entire trade in the data window. Tells you where your entry is, tells you where your target is. Typically, we're going to get out at the middle target, the second target, and it tells you where your stop is. All right, so obviously you've heard the adage, plan your trade and trade your plan. Well, there is a trade plan built into each and every Trend Jumper trade. Okay. Now the first target, that's when we're going to incorporate what we call money management. Trend jumper wants to put you in a risk-free position as quickly as possible. So the more risk-free positions you're in, the better off you are, right? Because once you're risk-free, the worst case scenario is you break even. But we go a step further and actually lock a tick in, and so we can cover our commission. All right, so you can see what happens. It gets really choppy. It's going up, it's going down. There's subsequent setups. We're going to ignore those. Part of what we do involves training and learning what setups to take and which ones not to take. There's a reason we show these setups, but it's a more advanced concept. We incorporate it with a lot of our Forex and stock swing trading, where we literally add to our position so we can build a big position and catch some really gigantic trends. Okay, but just ignore that for now. Notice that the stop is up here, and ultimately it breaks down. When it hits that first target, that's when the stop moves down and we lock in a tick of profit. This one locked in a little bit more because not only does it lock in, but it also begins to trail the green dotted line. And the dotted line had already come down even further. And then, of course, it hit the full target. So position one comes off here. The second position continues to trail lower and lower. Pretty nice trade there, okay? Now, I know heating oil is a market most people don't think of, but it really moves great. And also, it's a great example to show you another major benefit of the trend jumper, and that is that all these trades have a really great risk-reward ratio built into them. Okay, remember with scalping, that's one of the problems. Okay, in this case, we're risking the amount between these two lines, and we're gaining the amount between these two lines just to that first position, right? So it's a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So even if you lose a couple trades, it only takes one trade to basically catch you up, all right? That's a pretty important point. But once you get to risk-free, obviously then the risk-reward ratio is completely in your favor because there is no more risk. But look at how this trade ended up, the original risk versus the reward on that second position, you see? Now when you get enough of these, that really makes up for losing trades that happen with scalping. So another thing with trend jumper, one of the things on why it works so well is because it's based on pure price action. What the trend jumper is doing with this jump line is it is seeking near-term support and resistance levels from which to jump off of for fast and immediate profits. Okay, that's one of the main principles of the strategy. Pure price action. You don't need anything else. Everything you see here on this chart is all you need. So it makes trading really simple. Okay, and of course we combine it with really smart rules, power of quitting, when to stop, when to start, and like this we can grow our accounts on a steady basis. So I think what I'll do is I'll show you one more futures, and then we could, I want to show you a Forex example, because then we're going to start getting into what this new Pro Plus calculator, we just came out with a real advanced set of power tools, and Brian will tell you more about that when we talk about the university, but I want to show you some of the benefits you get. So soybeans is another really great market. We day trade both these in our trade room every day. Soybeans starts at 8:30. We had a really great day across the board on just about everything we trade, but I want to show you how soybeans works here. Right at 8:30, there was actually a loss. I mean, it just barely ticked in and barely ticked out. Okay, and then the second trade, which is this white trade here, missed the full target by just one tick. So that one only got one tick. And then the third trade also was a loss. Okay, so you know we're coming from behind on soybeans, but because of our methodology and because ultimately these choppy time periods break out, we end up picking up a really nice winner here, and then a nice winner here, this yellow trade. You can see the trailer actually getting some extra, and then the trade that finished the session was the blue trade, which came all the way down to here. And you can see this is the exact same strategy that I showed you on heating oil. And you know, we also do the Dow E-mini, the Russell E-mini, the S&P, the NQ, crude oil, a number of others. Another market we day trade in the trade room, and this is where I could really illustrate what some of the points were that Brian was talking about with Forex, is a 5-minute chart of the euro yen. And so this is what the chart looks like, okay? You saw those dots on the other one, and I'll show you why in a moment. This trade that opened up today, you can see it's the exact same thing. You got the jump line. It's a different color because we have different settings with this 5-minute chart. You can see, though, that when you click on the bar, the whole trade's here. We're going to go with 3 positions with Forex. We're going to take profit at the second target, the third target, and we're going to trail. And Trend Jumper is extremely accurate in many cases, and you can see how accurate that middle target was on this first trade of the day. I mean, right on the money, right? But guess what? Believe it or not, we couldn't take profit there. You know why? Because the trade plan doesn't want to scalp just a few pips of profit. If you look at this carefully, you'll see that the entry is at 143.25, right? We round that up. We're going to make a little adjustment to 2.6 because we want to get off the 25 level. That's what we call a key level that we adjust around. But then when we look to the left, there's a spike here that was at 26. So we literally had to get into this trade at 27 up here. But when you get filled, when you put in your order at 27, where do you think you're going to get filled at? You're going to get filled at 29, right? And that's if you have a good broker that only charges you 2 pips of spread. So from 29 to 35 is 6 pips. I mean, that's hardly worth my time. And it shouldn't really be worth your time either. When we have trades that are that small, the trade plan says we're going to ignore the targets and instead go for 15 and 25 pips. Really, it's 17 and 27 pips because we have to add 2 pips of spread on the buy side. Okay, that didn't happen. So then it came down, and it literally had to stop and reverse and go short. So even though it looks like a winner, that was a loser for us. You'll see why we do this in a minute, because once it got short, we had the same problem. We had an entry at 143.16 and a target at 143.08, minus 2 pips of spread. That's another 6-pip trade, and look how accurate it was. But I'm not interested in a 6-pip trade. Instead, I want to go for that 17 and 27 pip level to count for my spread, which is roughly around there. Okay, so here's your 15 pip level and your 25 pip level. Okay, this really happened today. So we're in this trade. We went short. First trade's a loss. By the way, that was 13 pips per position. So this trade lost 39 pips. Do I want to risk 39 pips to only make 6, right? 6, and then, of course, whatever that is and whatever the trailer is. The risk reward just isn't there, right? So, but look what happens now. We hit our 15 pip target. We hit our 25 pip target, and we literally can add to our position here, because one thing with Forex that you can't really do with futures unless you have a lot of capital is you can scale in and really take advantage of big trending moves. And the Trend Jumper is designed for that, and so is this trade plan. All right, but these targets were big enough to be able to accept those. Okay, they were more than 10 pips. Remember, Trend Jumper is dynamic. It's adjusting to market conditions. The move is starting to open up. The setup got bigger. And it came down, and we hit both those targets too, and now we're trailing the purple line. And we already overcame our loss, and now we're profitable. And we just trail that purple line. We're not going to continue to add to our position with this trade plan. We only take the one add-on, and it went down and down and down and finally got out right here. And that is how we day trade Forex. You might say it's scalping. In a way it is. I mean, a little target. But we also hang in there for the big home run move. And the reason I showed you the other chart with all the dots is because now with the new Trend Jumper Pro Plus toolkit, we don't have to do those moves manually anymore. The calculator, these are the exact same trades, the calculator knows how to track the trade. You can see the stop moving all the way across, and it knows that the trade was too small, so it pushed it down to our 17 and 27 pip level. It did that for us automatically, and it also knew to trail the purple line. And that is fantastic because we've been doing this manually for over a year, and we finally got it to where the tool will do it for us. And in case you're wondering how much these couple trades here made this morning, today was a 322 pip net result. So ask yourself, are you interested in those 6 pips, or would you prefer a method that's going to knock the ball out of the park? I think the answer is pretty obvious. I wanted to show you this because most of you haven't seen this yet. These are utilizing some new technologies that our master programmer, Will, was able to figure out and work into our new ProCalc advanced toolkit. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. Just to give you an idea of what I'm doing now with these tools, I'm applying the same trade plan on some other pairs, and I'm just kind of monitoring a few of them, and I didn't really change anything. Take a look at what it did on the CAD yen. You could basically see the same trade, only this time it's utilizing automation. That's what these dotted lines are. Okay, and also you can see the 3 positions. And so look for this trade plan to actually start being utilized with some other pairs. So that's pretty exciting news. Another part of Forex trading, probably my favorite aspect, is swing trading. I like the end-of-day trading mainly because you can catch gigantic moves, and it only takes about 15 minutes a day. So these are some current trades. The Aussie New Zealand, it's been fantastic for the last couple years, and it still is. These trades are the most current. This one just finished. Look how accurate, again, the targeting is. With Trend Jumper, with end of day, we're going to go in with pretty small positions, but we're going to take profit at target 1, target 2, target 3, and we're going to trail. It may not look like much, but that one trade is hundreds of pips, and it literally took about 2 minutes a day to manage. Hundreds of pips for 2 minutes a day. Now, you might say that, well, it's not really a scalp, but it kind of is when you put it in perspective to a big day trade, a big daily chart, right? Because a daily chart is you're gonna see, thousands of pips of range over a period of time. So this one just literally took 1, 2, 3 days to hit all its targets. So in the grand scale of things, that's like a scalp. This one only took, 1 day to hit 2 targets, and the second day to hit the third. So these 2 trades, you add all that up, and it's close to 1,000 pips. And literally less, 2 to 3 minutes a day to place these and manage these. That's it per pair. I like to follow like 12 different pairs. So, we could look at that. We could look at more Forex. I wanted to cover a little bit of stocks and options too, because this is huge when it comes to Trend Jumper. There's so many great opportunities. Trend Jumper can be customized now with the new Pro tools. This trade plan was created over a year ago, at which point it was winning about 77% of its trades over the last 10 years. This is the Spider, right? The S&P. It's a $180 share. But the way we do it is with simple calls and puts. You just use the underlying setups to buy simple in-the-money calls and puts, and you can get double and triple digit gains out of these. It's a really great way to trade. And just to give you an idea of how well it's done since, it's almost 79% because it's been winning this last year, maintaining that huge winning percentage. But here's a performance report on this pair. It's been making $151 per share, right, over the last 10 years. 4.16 profit factor. There's that 78.5%, right? It's gone up. Every single trade, all wins and losses, has averaged out to $1.72 per share profit. So every time you put on a trade, you can count on $1.72 per share. And what's really amazing is that over 10 years, it's never lost more than 2 in a row. And it's literally had 7 trade winning streaks, and it's had an 11 trade winning streak to the long side and a 17 trade winning streak to the short side. Pretty cool, huh? That's the equity curve on that. Okay, so these are things we teach in the university. One strategy does all of this. And there's a lot of new amazing features I think what I'm going to do, usually I show you a lot more of the basic trend jumper, but what I want to show you are some of the new pro tools. This is just one more ETF. This is the Dow ETF. This one also, you can see the equity curve, a little rockier, but still a really nice curve, winning 68% of the time over 10 years, $102 per share profit. Every trade is making $1.18 per share on average. Just really great. And there's a whole bunch of different ones like this. I could spend a whole webinar just showing you stock and options. But there's a concept that is really starting to take hold, and one that I talk about a lot in the trade room, and that's this whole idea of trading a mini session. A mini session is where you subdivide your day up to focus on just the most productive times of day. And so a session might start, and then 45 minutes later it might be over, and your goal is to get one winner or take 3 trades maximum, for example. And then you could start another session that's another block of time. Maybe it's mid-morning, okay? And that is a whole new trade plan with a whole new set of goals. You start your goals from scratch again, and you can subdivide up, and you can do this with a number of markets. And with these new pro tools, I'm working on this exact concept. So a couple things I'm working on, and these are kind of like a sneak peek of what we're going to be covering in the training coming up, is some mini session trade plans that I've created for crude oil and for the Dow Mini, and there will be others, including Forex. And I just wanted to give you a quick look because these are using some cutting-edge technologies that the trend jumper has never had before. Let me grab the... Oops, I lost my desktop. There it is. Let me show you the strategy report, and I'll just show you. So these are, a lot of people, obviously we trade the crude oil every day. We trade the 377 tick every day. We've been doing it for almost a year and a half now. But this one is different, okay? This one is a 610 tick, and it trades for the first hour and a half or so. I'm not going to show you all the trades, but you can see it's done $25,000 over the last 180 days. It's winning 2/3 of its trades. Really nice equity curve. Okay, so when you finish with this one, then you can come back and you can trade the next one. And the next one's a completely different chart. This is a 425 tick chart. And this one has its own unique set of results. This one's actually better, winning 75%. It's averaging $92 per contract per trade, all wins and losses, right? It's made over $20,000 in the last 180 days. And there's the equity curve. So it's a really neat example, and this is using some new technologies that, like I said, a whole new targeting scheme that makes this work, and some other cool things that we'll explain as we get into the training. There's also a couple I'm working on with the Dow Mini. And these are brand new. No one's seen these yet. The first one is a 377 tick. This one here, you see it's doing really well. Actually, I'm sorry, that's not the right one. That's still crude oil. Let me grab that really quick, and then I'm going to hand this back to Brian. Here it is right here. Okay, there it is. You can see it's got a 2.5 profit factor. Look, it's winning almost 70% of its trades. Really great equity curve, right? That's the second session. The earlier session actually is similar. Looks like that. And then I'll have a late day session also for YM. So those who want to trade at different times of day, you'll finally have an answer on how to do that with a real organized way, a real smart trade methodology, and just a lot of versatility to work with the average, the busy lifestyle that we all, seem to have these days. And it's just, it's another approach to scalping. It's a way to scalp the market, but still taking advantage of all the important things that you need for successful trading. Real smart plans, real good risk rewards, real high percentage trades, the ability to hang in there and hit the ball out of the park with the runners, and knowing when to stop and start, stop, being disciplined, and treating this as a profession. Brian, let me hand this back to you, and if anyone wants to see more examples, we can certainly look at more during the Q&A.
Okay, thanks, Troy. Always get excited looking at some of those charts. Makes me want to kind of pick your brain a little bit and actually personally trade some of those options. Charts look awesome. So anyways, let's take now just a few minutes, and what I want to do is detail out for you the university and how you can get involved. And really, I want to talk about some of the feature and function that Troy mentioned in a little more detail. So first, let me kind of tell you how we work the university. And we found this formula to be very, very successful in delivering to our members the content, the training, the strategy in a form that that they can grasp and then apply to the markets. And Troy, if you could mute your mic. So first we have the prereq, and in that phase, what you do is actually go through 16 hours of course material that all the coaching staff here at Premier Trader University have put together. Everyone from Mark to myself, Troy, Will, Ron, each of us have put together videos that talk about the best broker platform to choose, whether it's understanding fundamentals versus the technical trading, the style of trading, different considerations that you as a brand new trader should explore. Which platform to use, TradeStation, NinjaTrader, we talk about that, the weaknesses and pros and cons of each one of those. So this is meant to set a good foundation so that when you come to the live event and that very first day, everyone is at the same level, so to speak, no matter if you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. All right, so that's how you start out, is on the prereq. And next, we go to the undergraduate level, and this really is what we call day one training. And you're going to learn everything trend jumper on this day. And it's really the nuts and bolts of the trend jumper system. Troy's going to go through everything from putting the indicators on your chart and the different settings that impact the indicators. He's going to talk through it all and go through some of the trade plans, where you can get the trade plans. And believe me, we have more trade plans than you're ever going to want to even consider. And we've got trade plans on some of the more popular Forex markets like the euro and the pound, but what we find actually is some of the more obscure markets trade even better. They typically will range better. And so we've got a number of Forex plans. And on the future side of the equation, all the popular markets like the Russell E-mini, crude, the Dow E-mini, wheat, soybeans, the DAX futures, all really, really good futures markets to consider for your trade business. The other thing that we add inside the university, which is different, if you're a current Trend Jumper member, you know this, you get 2 days a week in our live training room. Well, inside the university, you're going to actually get 4, and it's not going to cost you anything additional. Right now, for those of you on Trend Jumper, you have to pay a monthly fee for that. So that's one of the great benefits of joining the university, is you don't have that ongoing, reoccurring cost. We'll add trade plans very frequently, and time to time we'll have Q&A calls with the developer, with Troy, with Mark, to talk about the trade plans they've developed, what they're looking at, whether it's automation, and very, very interactive in that regard. So we like to train live when it comes to the course material, and this is a snapshot of the tool that we use. It's Omnovia, and in a moment I'm going to show you that for a few of you, you can actually attend live in person and come meet Troy and Mark and myself, and Will's going to be there, and sit in the class live and be a little more even interactive, so to speak, than the tool that we use here, which is Omnovium. So that's a snapshot of that. The next level that we have inside the university is what we call the graduate level. This is day 2. And for those of you that have gone through the boot camp before, it's very similar to that. But this is going to basically dive deeper into the trend jumper and really give you a good understanding of why the trend jumper is successful. What are the concepts behind that? And Troy goes into detail on the philosophy behind the trend jumper and building really a strong foundation for your ongoing long-term trading success. So here are some of the things that we're going to cover inside the boot camp. The best trade criteria, what setups to avoid. A lot of times the calculator will put setups on, and Troy will say, we're taking this trade or we're not, and there are reasons specifically to that. That's all explained. Filters to increase your profits. We'll talk about FIFO rules on the Forex side. Unfortunately, we've got regulation that you need to be aware of and how that works. We've got a new technique called off-the-line doji that we're going to cover, and just numerous additional things here. Troy, I don't know. Maybe you want to get on and talk about a few of the remaining things here in regard to the boot camp. I know you've done a number of these and had really, really good success.
Yeah. I mean, everything you see on there, definitely we're going to cover, but we're going to spend a lot of time with new trade plans. We're going to spend a lot of time with the new tools that come with the Pro Plus calculator, because what you can do with them are amazing. So a lot of, apart from just what we normally do in the boot camp, is going to be focused on what we can now do with the trend jumper. And so that's some of the stuff I'm really excited about. For example, the trend jumper uses a specific targeting scheme. It's been very successful, and it still is. I mean, we use it on most of our plans, but it's now been empowered with more targeting options, and that's opened the door to just a lot of great things. Some of what I just showed you with the YM and the crude mini sessions are utilizing some of those new techniques. It probably wouldn't have been possible without. There's a brand new trade setup. It's not really new. It's new in regards to trend jumper. We've been talking about it now for many months. It's a trade called the measuring stick trade. It's a very unique trade. We do it in the trade room, but we always had to figure it out manually, and it took time. And the market's moving. It's not waiting. Well, the measuring stick trade is being integrated. It actually has been integrated into the new Pro tools that come with the calculator now, and that's really exciting. So we're going to spend time on that and talk about creative ways to use that. You could literally make a living just specializing on that one setup alone and really simplify things. So we're gonna show you ways to do that as well. Some things that we forget to mention that are really important and exciting. The Pro calculator is Renko enabled. It literally knows how to work with Renko. With Renko, a lot of times the price is going to move in a certain space on the chart, and then it doesn't show up on your chart. You never knew that it got to those data points. Well, the way the calculator works now is that you don't ever have to worry about that again, because the calculator knows how to work with the borders of the Renko bars. And if you know about Renko, you know what I'm talking about. But we're going to spend time with that. We're going to talk in depth about the key level adjustments that we do. Key level adjustments are critical. If you're a standard trend jumper user, you have to know this. This is all taught in training. But then you got to remember. You got to remember when to make those adjustments. Just like I showed you on that EJ example. We had to know what adjustments to make. Well, the Pro calculator knows how to do that for us. And so it's just one less thing we have to think about. We gain a small amount of time on each trade. It helps prevent making mistakes. You'll often forget. We've had in the trade room where someone forgot to make that key level adjustment, stopped out for only one tick. Our key level adjustment kept us in the trade. It went on to run for 50 more points. one little mistake like that can cost you a lot. Well, with the Pro Calculator, that's one mistake that you won't be making anymore. Just trade tracking, just knowing when the trade is canceled, one less thing you have to think about with the Pro Calculator, because it's going to know that stuff. There's a lot more stop tools. I mean, the stop is amazing, very important part of trading, but the way the trend jumper manages trades as the trade progresses, we have a lot more flexibility. Not only does it trail the jump line, but what I showed you on EJ, it was trailing actually an EMA, which is specific to that trade plan. Again, we used to have to do that manually, but now we don't, because the EMA has been added as a trailing stop tool in the new calculator. I mean, there's just so many more things that I could tell you about the Pro Calculator, but that's just you know, a handful of some of the main topics. But we're going to get into all these things and more in great detail through this 3-day training.
All right. Thanks, Troy. So next I want to talk a little bit about one of the areas we're really excited and to be offering inside the university, and that is Trade Assist. You're going to get 90 days of access to this tool. And let's face it, as whatever level you're at, beginner, intermediate, advanced trader, you always have ideas, different ways that you can think of to approach the market. And with this tool, what is great, you're going to be able to very quickly flush out those ideas and either know that it's worthy of further investigation or if it just falls apart immediately. And so that's the great thing about Trade Assist, is you can do your back testing very quickly. And it's a great tool for that. Now, another way that you can use the Trade Assist automation, and we'll cover this, is the way Mark and I use it. We use it to semi-automate our trading. And what I mean by that is we turn automation on, we let it place our trades, we let it manage our trades, but we're in front of the charts making sure that everything it does is correct. All right, so it's semi-automated, but we got a human being in front of that screen watching each and every trade. It's not set and forget and walk away. Okay, it's got a human at the in the pilot seat, so to speak. So that's one way you can use Trade Assist also. And again, that's the way Mark and I use it each and every day for our trading. You know, you've got the ability to close out positions. You can optimize. There's optimization tools inside of the Trade Assist. And if you want to pause times during lunch or set up, you know, some of the different ways that Troy talked about trading slices of time, you can do all that inside the automation. So we're very excited to bring that. And Mark's going to be doing some special training on it, and I know Troy is also in our 3-day training. This is just an example of the automation. It shows you where you get in and out, and then some of the stats that it can give you, including gross profit, profit factor, very, very key element to look at in your thought process as to whether you're going to trade a market. And next, this really is brand new for anybody, whether you're a trend jumper or inside a PTU. And it's the Trend Jumper Toolkit. And Troy, I'm going to bring you back on the mic and have you talk down through these bullet points. You're the brains behind this, and I know Will worked with you on it. Why don't you kind of give us some insight to this?
Yeah, sure. I was talking about this a little while ago, but these are some of the tools I was referring to. I only referred to a few of them. There are a lot more I didn't refer to. Also, these are all integrated with the automation, so all these new tools are built into the automation. The dynamic targeting capabilities, it gives us a lot more control over our targeting. We have unique ways to lock in profit and to just get more out of the potential of a trade, several different ways. Also, the entry and the initial stop, we have more tools for dynamically controlling that as well. The advanced trailing stop tools, the trading for profit, these are all things I was talking about a little while ago. But what I didn't mention is that we can now trade a third position. I mean, we would do that manually, but now the calculator and the automation is capable of not only tracking the third position, but you can test and you can discover what that best third target is. and that's pretty powerful stuff too. And then there's other things like stop and reverse controls. You could literally tell it to stop and reverse or to not stop and reverse, and that's a pretty nifty tool. And there's other things that the Pro Calculator can do. You can turn off all those additional, what we would call add-on trades. If you don't want to see them, you can turn them back on if you want to go through and manually test for those. There's some subtle things. If you know the trend jumper, that we've changed some rules from the original trend jumper to how we do it now, and there are actually controls in the calculator that let you toggle back to the old rules, which actually do work well on certain markets versus others, so you have the control to use it or not. The filters that we use, you can turn those on and off. There's actually new filters inside this new calculator as well. Filters are a double-edged sword. Sometimes they will filter out some losing trades, but they'll filter out some really great winners too, so you have to use them very carefully. But with the automation, you can test for them, and that's where they really start to show their worth. You could also test for power of quitting. Power of quitting is what you heard Brian mention earlier, and that's a concept we use with all our trade plans. You have to know when to quit. I mean, how many times do you make profit to only keep trading and give the money back to the market and end up the session negative? And if you only knew to quit, if you only would have walked away with your profit in hand, we call that the power of quitting. It's a dynamic profit-setting goal technique that we use, okay? And when we hit our goals, we quit, but it's dynamically adjusting to market conditions. This amazing set of software can test for different power of quitting formulas. You could test for the time of day to start, the best time to quit. What about pausing through news? Could even do that. It's pretty amazing. And again, even though I've told you a lot, there's so much more that I just can't tell you yet because it's top secret, but also because we're running out of time. So let me give it back to you, Doug.
Thanks, Troy. So the other component here that we're really excited to talk about today, and I alluded to this when I did the first part of the presentation today, is we're going to show you a roadmap to actually get staked and trade other people's money. So if you said to me, Brian, this all sounds great, but I just don't have any trading capital, well, here's your answer to that. So we're going to cover how you can get staked with a $50,000 account and keep up to 80% of the profit that you make on that account. Now, with that said, there are some pretty strict criteria that you have to stick to, but we're going to show you the roadmap to putting that all together with the trade plans that'll work for it. And so it's a great way to, again, you're going to have to prove yourself, but eventually then get staked and trade other people's money. This is from some recent results that we always like to talk about. There's mechanical profits, trading the system just straight up. You don't look at the chart, make any chart adjustments, any key level adjustments, and then there is trading with those adjustments and how that improves your trading. In some cases, it can be very substantial, and this is also information that we cover inside the university, how to take that those adjustments and apply them properly to get that additional bump in performance. So here are some raves that we get from members about the university. I'm not going to focus on these too long, but we constantly get good feedback in regard to the way we teach, the strategy that we offer, and the results that our members are getting. So let's get to the course and how it's going to work. And the great thing this round, this is the first time ever you're going to actually be able to come and attend live in person in Los Angeles, if you so choose. Now, the seating is limited. We can't take everybody that signs up. In fact, we've got seats that are starting to fill up. We're going to take around 15 in the live portion of the class. And so if you're interested in that, you need to let us know very quickly if you want to attend live. If you choose not to do that, obviously you can attend via the comfort of your office or home, wherever you might be in the world. We use the Omnovia room to deliver to you the information that we're going to teach over these 3 days, and it's very interactive. You can text us, and then we respond back on the audio. It works very, very well in this process. So the course is going to be taught over 3 days, starting April 1st. We're going to do the undergrad course that day. April 2nd will be the graduate, and then April 3rd, the doctorate course. And we're going to cover all the different items that I listed earlier in the presentation. So here's what you get. It's a huge value, really, when you consider we've put literally 18 years into this product, and I say that because we've gone through an evolution of different strategies, and really what you see today is a culmination of that. So it's a lot of development time that we've put in, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I know Troy, same thing, into his strategy. And really, this is the way we find traders learn the best. And so here are the different things that you're going to get. You're going to get lifetime access to the Owners Club. There's no additional charge. Going forward, there's no reoccurring charge. You're going to get a special workshop on automating your trading with PTU and Trend Jumper Pro in the 3-day training. You're going to hear from Mark how he uses automation in our trading. And Troy, same thing. And so I think that's very beneficial. You're going to get a roadmap really to trading other people's money. We're going to tell you how to do that. And then finally here, the support that we offer our customers, I think, bar none, is the best in the industry. We really care about the success of each one of our traders. So I know everyone likes to have a guarantee. All we ask in return is that you kind of follow our recipe for success. One, you've got to first review the prereqs and go through those. You need to attend the 3 days of class, go through that, install the indicators, and make at least 25 trades demo or live. And if after that, 45 days, you're not happy with the result, or you can't see yourself being successful with this approach, then you can ask for a full refund. So here's the tuition plan, and it's really, I know this might look a little complicated, but just bear with me here for a second. So first of all, in this column, we've got new customers. And for new customers, brand new, you've never purchased any NetPicks products in the past, the cost is $39.97. It's a one-time fee. If you want to go on a payment plan, you can do that, 4 payments of $9.99. Okay. I know we have a lot of existing customers on the call, a lot of customers that have purchased trend jumpers, trend jumper, excuse me. And so we want to give you a little bit of credit for that, so to speak, or we're going to give you credit for that. So the price goes down to $29.97, all right, for you guys, one-time fee. And then a family discount. If you've purchased one of our past systems, if it's Trend Jumper or whatever, then here is the structure for you guys, and we're going to give you a 500 off coupon that you just need to key that code in, 500 off, and you'll get an additional 500. So for you, the price would be $24.97 in that case. For a brand new person coming in, you can take advantage of the $500 off coupon, and so the total price in that case would be $34.97. Those are on the full pay plans. All right. So with that, if you want to get signed up, you can do so by going to this link, netpicks.com/enroll. You cannot click on the link that you see there on the screen. You do have to key that into your browser. I will go ahead and chat and send the link out to you, so you can click on that also if you would like. And at this point, we're going to go to questions. Before I do that, I do want to let you know about a TradeStation scholarship. And this really is hugely beneficial to you because you can get the full price of the course that you would pay today rebated back to you over time. Now, here's the key. You need to set up a brand new TradeStation account, either a stock account or a futures account, okay? And once you do that, once you start to live trade, then they're going to rebate back to you 20% of the commissions on each trade up to the full value that you paid on the course. It's a great way. If you're going to go with TradeStation anyways, you might as well take advantage of this. And the detail on how you get this accomplished, who you contact at TradeStation, what you need to tell them, there's a special code you're going to give them from us. That's all detailed inside the Owners Club. Okay. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Then we're going to go to questions. If you want to speak to someone in more detail, you can call us. Feel free to call us. I know we're around here for a little bit yet this evening, but we'll be around all day tomorrow. You can email me personally at brian@netpicks.com, or you can email support@Premier Trader University. I'd be happy to talk with anybody that has a question on the university. So with that, let's go to questions. I know Ron has been answering questions pretty actively here, it looks like, and looks like we're mostly caught up. If there's anything specific that you have a question on at this point, go ahead and put that in. And I do appreciate you guys being with us today. Hopefully the information we shared was beneficial. Let's see. Joseph, what about the 50K OPM account? Joseph, I'm not sure you're asking about details in that regard, and we'll be sharing more details, basically the path to that inside the university. And we'll give you the detail. We're not going to disclose that, obviously, today in today's webinar. Moses saying, I've never traded futures. That will be a problem for me. Well, Moses, hopefully you saw a path today in what we presented that will, will guide you through that process. That's what this is all about. Learning to trade, futures and other instruments. Gordon asking if this was recorded. Yes, it was recorded, and we'll be sending that recording out probably on Monday. Joseph asking, how long is this offer valid? Well, we'll be doing some additional webinars. In fact, if you want to check out some of the upcoming webinars, if you're not quite convinced you want to purchase today for whatever reason, you can go to premiertraderuniversity.com/webinars. And the next one we'll be doing is how to create a full-time income trading futures. And the additional webinars are listed on this website. So we've got a couple weeks here before the next class. We will typically do one class per quarter, and so that's roughly the schedule that we hold. We like to only bring in so many students at a time. I'm serious when I said earlier about the personal attention that we give each and every student, and so obviously we don't have 100 coaches here. And so we do limit the number of students that we take on at any one point. Joseph asking, how small of an account can you start with? That's a great question. Depending on the market that you're going to trade, I'm going to say, what I would like to see you start with is probably $5,000 in a futures account. And that would be trading, some of the smaller instruments like the Dow. Would be a good starting instrument for that. You definitely can't go to a gold or a silver or crude. You definitely need more capital to trade those kind of markets. Larry's asking, as a new trend jumper owner, what can I do to get the ability to backtest using TradeStation? I'm a TradeStation user and know how to do that part. Larry, really the only thing you can do, outside of trying to create everything that we've done, which is literally thousands of lines of code, and I don't know how many hours, Will. Maybe you can text me, Will, how many hours you spent. I'm just curious, but if you have a guess. Outside of that, that's the only way to join the PTU. And his response to me was countless hours. I know he works on it a lot. So really, that's the only way. Well, Joseph's comment in regard to the 5,000, it's going to cost him 10 grand. Yikes. My response to that is all you have to do is get started and demo trade, and then pursue the the other people's money getting funded. Pursue that if that's if that's a problem for you. And that's actually, in my opinion, a better route to go for someone like yourself, because it forces you down a path that really is going to put some good parameters in place that will keep you in line, so to speak. And so I think that's a great way for you to go. William's asking, are any future training classes going to go over PTU2 trading plans? All the emphasis is on Trend Jumper. William, yeah, inside of the class that we will do, Mark is going to cover some strategies that he and I use to trade, which is PTU2, and maybe even an iteration of that. So Mark is going to spend some time covering what we do in that regard and some things that he's discovered in regard to that. So yeah, the answer. I know we didn't cover it today, and he's on vacation. He'll be back next week. Joseph making further comment, I sure wouldn't trust me. Well, hopefully we fix that, Joseph, in the process. Joseph, and prior to that, his question was, who's going to give me 50K when I've only demo traded? Here's the way it works, Joseph. You will demo trade with the firm for a period of time, and they will be watching you. They will watch every trade you do, and there will be metrics that you have to meet. If you don't meet the metrics, you don't go on to real money. It's that simple. William's asking, and will the next class be taped and placed in the owner's page for review? Okay, William, let me cover that a little bit in case there's any existing PTU members on the call today. For those existing PTU members, there's a small upcharge to attend the 3-day training and to have access to it. And that's because we're giving you access to the automation and we're giving you access to the boot camp. So there's a small charge to have access to that, and you pay that charge, and then yes, for sure, you can definitely get involved. Robert, thanks for being here. Michael's asking, is the boot camp and the live training the same thing? The boot camp is day number 2 of the 3-day training. So yes, I think is the answer to your question. Mark's asking, is that Mark Demo by chance? You're on my list to call Mark, if that's Mark D. Yes, it is. All right. So the answer to that, it's $397, and Mark, I can send you a link for that.
Brian, let me chime in regarding the boot camp and the PTU training. The boot camp is part of it, as you said, but there's so much more with the PTU training apart from the PTU strategies, which we really didn't even touch upon today. All the new power tools that come with the Pro Plus calculator and all the brand new trade plans and all the new training that's associated with that is what this has that the boot camp didn't have. Right.
Yeah, this is the boot camp and more, but a lot of the stuff you've covered in the past will be on day number 2.
Yeah.
David's asking if we have any East Coast live training. You know, that's possible, David. The next time we do this, we will do a live in person on the other side, to be fair to everybody. So, and if you join today, you'll have the ability to come and even at that point be with us live. So we always extend that opportunity to members. Yes, Mark asking if he pays the upcharge, can you attend live? You sure can, Mark. I'd love to have you there. All right, I think we have pretty much caught up with our questions. Troy, any closing comments?
No, I just want to welcome all our newest members who are signing up for it. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys in person if you happen to come and see us in April in LA. And you're going to love these pro tools. They're amazing. It's taken the Trend Jumper just to a whole new level. Really looking forward to this year and all the great new trade plans that are going to be forthcoming. So
All
well
right.
done, you guys.
All right. And thanks, Troy, for being with me today. And again, I want to say the same thing. Welcome to those that have signed up this evening, and look forward to meeting you guys live and in person. And for those that don't attend, look forward to meeting you online in that forum too. So again, thanks everyone for being with us. Troy, thank you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.